mahali pengine, lakini ulikubali kuja kukuwa na sisi leo asubuhi. Indeed, Your Excellency, that is a morale booster to the officers of the National Police Service. Na ningeuliza makofi kwa His Excellency. Your Excellency, kile kingine ningependa kusema ni ya kwamba sisi maofisa ambao wako kwa National Police Service, we assure you of our loyalty. At any time, yale amri unatoa, sisi ni kutii, kuhakikisha nchi yetu inalindwa bila woga na kutishwa na yeyote. Tutalinda wananchi wetu watukufu na tutalinda mali yetu kulingana na vile utatueleza tufanye kazi. Your Excellency, today I feel greatly honored to host you on this auspicious occasion of the official opening of the National Police Leadership Academy here in Ngong. One of the key objects and functions of National Police Service, as stipulated under Article 244 of the Constitution, is to strive for the highest standards of professionalism and discipline among its members. The second object is to train the staff to the highest possible standards of competence and integrity, respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms and dignity. In this regard, we have been collaborating with universities, both locally and abroad, in offering higher education to our officers on areas of strategic leadership and management. For example, our former National Police Service Senior Staff College, which was at Rolesho, used to collaborate with the Kenyatta University and the UK-based College of Policing in offering diploma and master programs in the leadership and management to senior police officers. However, the demand for knowledge and relevant skills suitable for modern policing calls for more education and training opportunities than are currently available. With the establishment of this academy, and more so in the interest of national security, we now have the capacity to create the much needed conducive learning environment where we can combine training, police training with academics. Your Excellency, sir, the establishment of this college therefore will contribute greatly to our efforts to harmonize the training within the service by bringing Kenya Police Service, Administration Police Service, and DCI officers to train together. The 21st century crimes have become complex with the technological advancement and globalization. Therefore, pursuing advanced, job-specific, but harmonized education oriented towards transformation of the police management, and this will have an impact on police professionalism and the police community relations. In conclusion, Your Excellency, we look forward to future engagement with partners to advance police training aimed at promoting best practices. It is now my humble duty to welcome the Governor Central Bank to make his remarks. Thank you, Your Excellency. Welcome, Governor Central Bank.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Excellency Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, CS Interior, Inspector General, you invited me, and thank you very much again, and also to the entire police academy, the entire police fraternity, wherever they are. Governor Kajiado, my fellow governor, thank you for the introduction. The boozy is coming, I know, yeah. And of course, the chairman, our chairman, the Central Bank of Kenya, and my deputy governor at the Central Bank of Kenya. Distinguished guests, hamjambo. On January 26, 2021, we gathered at this same spot to witness a milestone in the unlikely relationship between the National Police and the Central Bank. On that day, His Excellency President Kenyatta performed the groundbreaking of what is now before us, the National Police Leadership Academy. Part of the inspiration was the real need to build leaders in the police force, as the Inspector General, as the IG mentioned a moment ago. Almost 2 years later, the world-class facility is a reality, and today we witnessed its opening by Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces. Thank you again. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, when we started this journey, we were very aware of the project's trilemma, as they call it: time, quality, and cost. And we set out to defy them. We have many examples in our beloved country of severely delayed or uncompleted projects, poor quality and workmanship, and the ubiquitous project cost overruns. I'm pleased to report that against the original total project cost of about 1 billion, the final cost is 1.2 billion, 1.2. The extra cost is almost entirely due to the higher than envisaged cost of material, which were dealt with as per the contracts. As for quality, Your Excellency, we pushed to maintain the highest standards of the materials and workmanship. As you have observed during your brief tour, we have maintained that. However, the construction time stretched 2 years instead of 1 year. And in our defense, I'll say that a lot of the heavy construction was done while COVID-19 protocols were in place. And so, in the words of Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it is done. We are proud that the project brought together Kenyan expertise and material. Material was sourced locally. As I mentioned to you, Your Excellency, you'll be pleased to know that the local content of the project was 85%. 85. Specifically, 25% of the project cost was labor, all local, and the governor can attest to that. And local material constituted 80% of material cost. Additionally, of the local material, about 60% was sourced from Kajiado County. This really warms the governor's heart. And saving the best for last, Your Excellency, the professionals representing the contractors, consultants on the site were mostly under 35 years of age. And if you excuse me, Your Excellency, I'll request that they stand. They are somewhere in the room, so if you are involved, please stand. Those were the experts that made this a reality. These professionals are the future of the construction industry. And this is the biggest project they have been responsible for, a significant chapter in their portfolio. You may sit down, please. I will write a commendation letter for each of them, and I'm sure these letters will be used with pride at future job interviews. Your Excellency, at the end of your address today, I'll hand over a large key to the IG, symbolizing the possession of the facility by the National Police Service. However, that is when the important work of the National Police begins, the task of daily maintenance and repair to ensure that the facility is as good in 1, 5, 10 years as it is today. Unfortunately, everybody wants to build and nobody wants to do maintenance, even as the cost of regular maintenance is quite low compared to the cost of major breakdown. We look forward to the National Police Service backing the trend of poor maintenance and misuse of public facilities. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters, said Colin Powell. It is an important example worth setting. So before I finish, I want to thank all those that worked hard to bring us to this completion point. While there are many, I want to single out the 700 plus workers, artisans, professionals, consultants, contractors, and the CBK staff that oversaw this project. You have made us proud. I also want to thank the generations of leadership at the National Police Service. It has certainly been a worthwhile collaboration, and as I mentioned to you, Your Excellency, during the briefing, the very first design that we saw is not comparable to the world-class facility that is now before us. Finally, sir, I wish to thank you most sincerely on behalf of everyone connected to this project for copying this vision with your visit and opening the academy. It is a great honor. Thank you very much, and it's now my pleasure to welcome Bwana Waziri. I think it's Bwana Waziri. Thank you very much. Was it you? I may have had it wrong, so maybe I made a mistake. Okay, thank you.
Mheshimiwa Daktari William Ruto, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya na Amiri Jeshi wa Vikosi vya Ulinzi, Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua, Naibu wa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Inspector General wa Polisi, Engineer Japhet Koome, na makamanda wote na maofisa wa idara ya polisi, Governor wa Benki Kuu ya Kenya, Dr. Patrick Njoroge, Governor wa Kajiado, Mheshimiwa Joseph Olelenku, my senior mwenyekiti wa Benki Kuu, Mohamed Nyaoga, Senior Counsel, Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, elected leaders, ladies and gentlemen, Mheshimiwa Rais, sisi kama wizara inayohusika na ulinzi, inayohusika na usalama wa ndani na utawala wa nchi, tuko na furaha siku ya leo na tunashukuru. Kwanza kabisa tunakushukuru. Tunajua wewe kama kiongozi wa taifa, kila sehemu na kila idara, kila wizara inahitaji msaada wako na wakati wako. Kwa hivyo tunakushukuru kwa sababu umepata nafasi kuwa nasi hapa siku ya leo. Vile vile, Mheshimiwa Rais, na shukuru sana kwa niaba ya Wizara ya Usalama wa Ndani na Utawala wa Nchi. Na shukuru Benki Kuu ya Kenya kupitia uongozi wake ambao uko hapa, Gavana, naibu wake na pia mwenyekiti, kwa msaada ambao wametupatia katika kujenga kituo hiki ama taasisi hii ambaye ni ya kutusaidia katika kuleta mafunzo maalum kwa wale ambao wanatakiwa kuchukua nafasi za uongozi katika idara yetu ya polisi. Niseme ya kwamba tumeshukuru, na kwa niaba ya wizara asante sana Benki Kuu ya Kenya. Your Excellency, sir, I'll just say two things before I invite the Deputy President. First, for us in the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, we believe that the future of policing is going to be knowledge-driven. For us as a country to contain, minimize, and eventually eradicate crime, we will need knowledge to go about the operations that we put in place. And that knowledge will be acquired through our own training institutions and curricula designed to meet our needs as a country and the security challenges that we continue to face as a nation, which are unique and are not identical to those of other countries. Number two, through this facility, as the Inspector General of Police has said, it is expected that we will build convergences between the operational practices of the National Police Service, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, and also the Administrative Police Service to ensure we build the right synergies so that we can collectively address the security challenges that our country is facing. Finally, Your Excellency, you have directed us as a ministry to ensure that going forward, we enhance professionalism within the National Police Service and make sure that we run our internal security operations, our policing operations on the basis of professionalism, building good relationships with the communities that we serve, as well captured in the Kenya Kwanza Administration Manifesto. Your Excellency, sir, this facility, therefore, is going to help us meet that directive you've given us to make sure that we progressively professionalize our police service and make sure that those who take over leadership and command positions within the National Police Service are people who have the right intellectual software to manage the complex security challenges that evolve every day as society continues to evolve. In that regard, it is hoped, and it is my hope as minister, that through the task force that you are setting up, the presidential task force on terms, conditions, and other reforms within the National Police Service and the Kenya Prison Service, some of the ideas which will be taught and passed on in this institution will be generated so that we can now proudly say we have the hardware to professionalize the police. What we are lacking is the software in terms of a good curriculum, a modern curriculum that infuses new ideas and new ways of policing as we continue to make sure that our country is secure. I think I will invite now the governor of Kajiado County, on which this facility sits, to say one or two things, and on our behalf invite the Deputy President, who in turn will invite His Excellency, the President. Welcome, my brother, Joseph Ololenku, who himself is a former minister of internal security in our country. Welcome, Governor. Asante.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua, Waziri wetu wa mambo ya ndani ya taifa, ndugu Githure, Governor wa Central Bank, ni governorship tofauti kidogo na hii yangu, ndugu Koome, maofisa, viongozi, elected leaders present, maofisa wa polisi, habari za mchana. Good morning. Your Excellency, the President, karibu sana Kajiado. We are very pleased to have you here this morning. And it gives us joy when you visit us always. And we are happy that even in a special day as this, which we'll say a little more in the tree planting session, that you are spending this day in Kajiado, commissioning or witnessing the handing over of this very important project, and later on leading the country in the afforestation endeavor. We are very happy as the people of Kajiado that we are your guests today, and we are privileged to host you. Your Excellency, many leaders came to welcome you. Many elected leaders of the community came to be with you this morning. And with your permission, I will request our MCS to be upstanding, of course led by our Speaker, Ndege. Ama wametangulia. Nafikiri Your Excellency wao wameenda kwa mambo ya upanzi wa miti. We had our MPs, Mheshimiwa Ngogoyo na wenzake. Nafikiri hawa watu walipangwa wakaambiwa watangulie. So wametangulia. Ala, ero uko wapi? Mimi nakutafuta huko. Haya, sawa. Haya, Your Excellency ndio huyo kijana wako. Na ni kiongozi mzuri, tuko eneo lake. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Ngogoyo karibu sana, and all other leaders present. As indicated in the program, Your Excellency, mine was just to welcome you. I didn't really have much of to do but welcome you. I want once more, on behalf of the people of Kajiado and on my own behalf, to say karibu tena. Your Excellency, allow me to comment this project. In fact, when we came to commission this project, it just looked like a year ago. I want to comment the central bank, the governor here, the chairman there, that this project has been done in a very fast way, and it makes us proud as Kenyans that our country has the ability to do these kinds of projects very fast, very well. And as Kajiado County, we are happy that we are hosting this institution. We know it comes with many blessings. Your Excellency, you heard we have a police station provided by this, but just the presence of many police officers around will make mambo mabaya kupotea. So it will enhance our security as a county, but it will also spur a lot of economic activities because many of our people will have opportunities to benefit from these officers. But very importantly, Your Excellency, and this is finally, I want to confirm what Dr. Njoroge said, that the local community was involved in this project in a very big way to provide services, to provide labor, and to provide many other communities they needed. And it actually brought a lot of life and energy into our local environment. And so I want, on behalf of the people of Ngong, to say asante sana. Of course, we look forward to them having a lot more other opportunities going forward. So, Your Excellency, mine is just once more to reiterate that I'm very privileged this morning to welcome you to Kajiado. And now allow me the honor to invite the Deputy President, a duty that was to be for the Minister, but he delegated to me. So, Mheshimiwa Naibu Rais, karibu utuletee rais.
The other one dealing with the money. Officers present. Your Excellency, when you instructed me to accompany you to this occasion, the Police Leadership Academy, the word leadership is what ignited my imagination. Leadership. Your Excellency, despite what professors write, despite what all people say about the problems bedeviling our continent, the problem of Africa is one of leadership. The problem of this country is one of leadership. The challenges of all our institutions is leadership. So, Your Excellency, this academy, to impart leadership skills to our commanders in the National Police Service, could not have come at a better time. I would like to request the new IG to consider that part of his legacy for the time he will serve as the Inspector General of Police is to impart leadership skills among our commanders in the National Police Service. A good National Police Service is as good as the leadership of the IG. A good police station is as good as the officer commanding police station. If that police station has a lot of corruption, chances are 9-1, the officer commanding that police station is leading in corruption. So the issue of leadership is what must be addressed to inculcate professionalism in our service. Your Excellency, Kenyans sometimes on TV in the evening make fun of the National Police Service when some county commanders and OSPDs are trying to describe a crime scene, but in a way that is a little bit embarrassing. But if we impart the right leadership skills and we make the police service professional, that will be the beginning of the success of our police service. Finally, Your Excellency, during our campaign period, I took the leading role to campaign for these people and to tell Kenyans that they are good people, that we just need to give them the right tools. But we also asked them to give back to society by being friendly, by dealing with the Kenyans in a humane manner. And that is a challenge that we want to give to all of you, that we look for a way of engaging with the public. Even as we enforce the law, we do it in a human manner that dignifies the Kenyan people. Kenya, Your Excellency, you have told us is a country of the rule of law. We have a debate that is going on the use of firearms by our police officers. The Inspector General of Police, the CS Interior, and myself have come out clearly, and we won't repeat, because it's important that we do so. We are not asking any police officer to misuse his firearm, but we are saying, for the police officers to protect the lives and property of Kenyans, they themselves must be safe. And they must first protect themselves against criminals with guns before they can protect us. We are not in any way saying that the oversight authority should not do their job. They must go ahead and do it. But our officers must be safe. But again, our officers, for us to be able to protect you, you have 5 documents that you must rely on so that you work professionally. The Constitution of Kenya, the National Police Service Order, the Penal Code Cap 63, the Criminal Procedure Code Cap 75, the Evidence Act Cap 80. With those 5 documents, you will never get in problems with the oversight authority or with the law. You will be safe. Na pia nyinyi, tunaomba nyinyi muongeze masomo. You cannot go wrong kuongeza masomo. Hii masomo ni mzuri. Hata kama hakuna mshahara kuambatana naye, kaa naye ungoje, so that mshahara ikiongezwa ikuta huko na masomo unafaidika. Your Excellency, hata masomo yangu ni kidogo. Ukatanipatia ruhusa kazi ikipungua niongeze kidogo. You know? Kwa ile kazi nimepewa na rais, masomo yangu iko chini kidogo. Unajua mimi niko na degree moja, my boss has 3. So unaona hiyo kibarua ni kali. Tena one of my senior colleagues ako professor. So pale kwa mikutano saa nyingine ninachanganyikiwa. So hata nyinyi tunaomba nyinyi officers pia muongeze masomo. You can never go wrong. Masomo ni mzuri. with those very many remarks, please be upstanding and help me to welcome the
Asante sana Bwana Deputy President, Mr. Rigiji. Tafadhali tuketi chini. Asante. Mawaziri mulio hapa pamoja na uongozi wa Central Bank, Chairman, Governor, Deputy Governor, uongozi wa jeshi letu la polisi, Bwana IG and your deputies, Governor wetu wa Kajiado na viongozi wa Kajiado, na officers wote mliokuja hapa na wananchi, hamjambo. Kwanza mimi nataka nichukue nafasi hii niwapongeze jeshi la polisi na vile vile Central Bank of Kenya kwa sababu ya kolabo mumefanya, ndio hii facility imepatikana. Nasema pongezi sana. In my other life, when I was an assistant minister at the office of the president a while ago, we made the decision then to have these 100 acres here. I am a very proud person today that the small decision we made at the office of the president almost 20 years ago, today we have a wonderful facility as the Police Leadership Academy. When I was asked by the governor, I didn't know that this is the same 100 acres that we had recommended. That time, when we recommended 100 acres, it looked like it was unreasonable. But as things are now, already 18 acres has been taken up by this academy. And it looks like with the expansion of the police force, the whole 100 acres will be in use shortly. So let me commend the leadership of our police service and the leadership of Central Bank. Pongezi sana. This is the kind of relationship we want to build around government, that all institutions must be able to speak with one another, and we must be able to synergize so that we avoid the silo mentality in government. When governor spoke, he said, this is very unlikely. But now we want this not to be the exception, we want this to be the norm. That government institutions can leverage on the resources that we have. So that, as is the case in this particular case, the central bank has used land for the police in industrial area to build housing for officers serving in central bank, and in return, they have come to build this leadership facility for the police. That is the kind of collaboration, that is the kind of synergy that must be the hallmark of government, that we can work together for the benefit not of any one person or any one institution, for the greater good of the people of Kenya. So again, I think here we have an opportunity in government to avoid unnecessary siloing in government. In fact, we have instances where government institutions take each other to court because of the failure to recognize and understand that we are one government, we are serving one people, and we must be able to build the network, the understanding for us to share the resources we have and for us to use the resources we have for the greater good of the people of Kenya, not any one institution on its own. So wale wengine, na mimi ninajua, nilikuwa Nyandarua juzi, kona moja ya serikali imepeleka kona ingine ya serikali kotini, na wamekwamisha project karibu miaka 10. Wale wote katika serikali yetu ya Kenya ambao wamepelekana kotini wajifunze kutokana na hii collaboration tumeona kati ya Central Bank na jeshi yetu ya polisi, ya kwamba tunaweza kushirikiana na tunaweza kuongea pamoja, tuweze kutumia ile resources tuko nayo kwa manufaa ya the different institutions that we serve, but also for the greater good of the government of Kenya. Secondly, I also want to commend our police force. This Leadership Institute is a very important institution as we look into a professional police service. It is our intention, and the administration that runs the government of Kenya today, it is our intention to professionalize our security sector, more specifically, our police and our prison officers. It is our intention. And we are going to work with you to make sure that men and women who serve in our police service are proud of being the men and women who look after our children, who look after our property, and who provide that service that secures our country. And for that to be the case, we must deploy sufficient resources, we must train our men and women properly, the recruitment, the training, the promotion, and the entire terms of service must reflect the critical service that our policemen and women provide for our country. And as Deputy President has said, this morning I have appointed a task force to look into the reforms that are necessary for us to remove the gaps that currently exist in our police service, to think broadly and deeply into what does the government of Kenya need to do to make sure that the recruitment, the training, the promotion, terms of service, and all conditions are the best conditions possible for our men and women in the police force and in our prisons to serve their country. And I want to assure you that I am committed at a personal level, and the Kenya government at the corporate level, to make sure that we have a professional police service. I have given my assurance to the commanders across the country that they have my support, they have the support of the government of Kenya to make sure that they deliver on their mandate. And as has been said, we are a country governed by the rule of law. We are a constitutional democracy. And we want to build institutions, whether it is the judiciary, whether it is independent institutions like our police service, whether it is parliament. We want to build all these institutions to secure the rule of law and to secure our democracy, so that the whims of an individual cannot overrun the institutional capacity of all the institutions we build as a country. That is the way into the future. I have been very clear to all our men in uniform. I have had a chat with our military. I have had a chat with the commanders of the police. And I have been very clear to these men and women that they have a cardinal duty to secure the lives, the property, and the nation of Kenya, to make sure that we can rally our development, we can rally our progress in a secure environment. Everything else, whether we are running development issues or we are running our politics, it will be very difficult if we do not have a secure environment. And therefore, collectively, it is our duty as a nation. Kenyans, in their individual capacity, have a role to play. The bigger role is in the shoulders of our security men and women. And we will support you. We will go out of our way to make sure that we make it easy for you to deliver on your mandate. And I have said this, that because we are a country of the rule of law, because we are a constitutional democracy, you must be grounded on the understanding of what the law says and what the Constitution says. And that is why this Leadership Institute is very important. That is why the curriculum through which our security men and women go through is very important, so that you can be grounded in the understanding on what you have to do, what is your mandate, what is your constitutional responsibility, what is your legal responsibility. And so that if for any chance you get, unfortunately, instructions that are not grounded in law or the constitutions, you should respectfully ignore such instructions and follow what the Constitution and the law says. That is the kind of police force we want to build. That is the kind of institutions we want to build, that these institutions can run on the understanding of what the law says, what the Constitution says, and we can all move together as a country. Let me also say the following, that it is correct that many of our officers are living in very bad conditions. They live in, what we could say is squalor. They live in very bad settlements. They share residence. I know we have provided for house allowance. Some of them cannot get accommodation in the right places. And therefore, I have also instructed the Ministry of Housing to include provision for housing for all our security men and women as we do our affordable housing plan. So, Bwana IG, the ministry is going to get in touch with you so that you can tell us where you have adequate space for us to be able to build affordable houses so that your men and women can have reasonable accommodation and they can live decently like the houses we have seen here. Si namna hiyo? So tutapangana na nyinyi tuhakikishe ya kwamba officers wetu wa polisi, wa prisons, wa jeshi wote tumewaunganisha katika mpango wetu wa kuwapangia mahali pazuri pa kuishi, na tunajua ile pesa mnapatiwa ya house allowance saa zingine haiwezi kukodesha nyumba mahali ambapo inatoshana na officers wetu. Wanaishi mahali si pazuri, wanahatarisha maisha yao, wanahatarisha mambo ya arms ambazo tuko nazo. So we will work together in that manner. And let me also say as we go into the future that we also need to depoliticize. And we've said this with my deputy, we don't need the assistance of the police in managing our politics. Siasa sisi tuko na watu wengi wa kutusaidia na siasa. Tuko na activists wengi, tuko na lobby groups mingi, tuko na pressure group mingi, na watu wengi wa kupiga makelele. Tunataka polisi washughulike na mambo ya usalama ya Wakenya wote bila kujali ni wa mrengo gani wa kisiasa. Sisi siasa na vyama ni mambo ambayo yako katika katiba ya Kenya. So all our policemen and women provide security across Kenya for all citizens of our republic, bila ya kujali ni wa chama hii, dini ile, kabila hiyo, ama misingi ingine yoyote. Nyinyi ni kazi yenu ni kuhakikisha kwamba Wakenya wote bila ya kujali yale mambo mengine yote wanapata usalama yao, familia zao, watoto wao, biashara zao, maisha yao, mali yao. Every Kenyan must be secured. Mambo hii ya siasa tutangangana na wale tuko nao kwa siasa. Hiyo sisi ndio mafundi wa huko. Tutajua ya vile ya kunyoroshana na wao huko. Nyinyi ufundi yenu ni ya usalama. So mtusaidie hapo kwa usalama. Hii ingine we don't need your help. Hii ingine tutangangana na wale wako kwa kiwanja hiyo. So nataka tena niseme pongezi kwenu watu wa Central Bank na vile vile kwa jeshi la polisi kwa kuunganisha mawazo yenu na kusababisha akademi hii ya uongozi wa polisi ijengwe. Tunatarajia ya kwamba katika ile task force ambayo nimeweka this morning, all the ideas will come through and we can be able to end up with a product that is going to assist our men in uniform, the police men and women of Kenya, to get the necessary attention that they need so that they can provide the constitutional mandate that is assigned to them in a professional and in the best manner that they can. So sitaki kusema kuzidi hapo kwa sababu bado tuko na shughuli ingine huko Ngong ya kupanda miti. Bwana IG, nataka kuombe kwa heshima kubwa hawa officers wako waongee na hao vizuri, wanisaidie katika hii mpango ya kupanda miti. Tafadhali. Kila officer akijipanga hapo atusaidie kupanda miti itakuwa mzuri. Kwa sababu hii climate change inatusumbua. Na tusipofanya kitu hii dunia itazidi na kuharibika. So we have to come together and see what we can do as a nation. So asanteni sana na washukuru sana kwa kunisikiza na I wish each and every one of you the very best. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Tutakutana pale mbele tukishughulika na ujenzi wa taifa. Asanteni sana. God bless you.